Is it simpler to purchase a Rolex this 2022? The answer to this question will be subject to some limitations, which we will discuss further in this video. There are fewer people purchasing Rolex watches today. As a result, some sellers on the secondary market, the gray market, and individual sellers are beginning to lower prices on particular products. As a result, the prices on the secondary market are returning to more realistic levels. Without a doubt, we are in the early stages of a recession. The housing market and the stock market are both plagued by a great deal of uncertainty. When it comes to global economies, we can indeed see and experience tons of uncertainty. Welcome to the luxury world. Get inspired with us today and tomorrow. The Daytona, Submariner, and Classic Oyster are just a few of Rolex's most well-known models. The Swiss company handcrafts approximately 1 million timepieces annually. However, if a buyer does not already have a working relationship with an authorized distributor, finding brand new Rolexes can be challenging. Even though production and supply chain issues at the height of the coronavirus pandemic have briefly disrupted the supply of Rolex watches, this is not the primary reason why they are so difficult to find and so costly when you find one. As the gap between demand and supply grows, some Rolex watches become more and more expensive. Because of this, they are assets whose value rises over time. At the beginning of 2022, Rolex increased prices of their watches by more than 4.2%. This indicates that a price increase is very likely to occur in the future. If you would like to cash in on fancy timepieces, this video is for you. In this video, we will tell you why Rolex watches still make a decent investment. We will also be giving you an insight into what the future of Rolex and the luxury watch industry could look like. First, let's talk about inflation. Rolex prices reached new all-time highs in the first quarter of 2022. With authorized dealers stating zero stocks for some models, you might want to consider going to the second-hand markets, where prices of some models have also increased. The root of this decline could be the fact that prices had been inflated by predictions as well as outside investors. They were enticed by the gold rush that originated from extreme shortages caused by the pandemic. Rolex's limited supply and a growing community of watch enthusiasts and collectors, as well as the general public's purchase of Rolex, which is also growing in demand, led to a more gradual long-term growth. Watches, and Rolex in particular, experienced a correction as well, when virtually all investment classes experienced a significant decline in May 2022. There are some collectors that usually would be lining up to purchase these Rolex watches. However, many of these watch collectors are saying that it would be safe to readjust until they get information. Therefore, it's true that reducing the number of potential buyers will benefit those who are currently willing to spend money on these models. Thus, the response is still yes. However, there is one more consideration. Not all models are readily available. Majority of Rolex prices are still going forward. Rolex prices are difficult to predict. Are we back on the normal value development? How soon until the inflation is corrected? Or are there still some steps to take? Before the market stabilizes, does the industry require a little bit more of a correction? Regardless, the situation is discouraging. It has very little to do with our obsession with watches. Despite our admiration for Rolex's amazing products, collectors haven't felt very welcome recently. There's no doubt about it. There will be shortages for some time to come. This indicates that prices will eventually reach a support level. Resale prices are uncertain, and Rolex still leads. The absolute explosion of prices on the resale market is another consequence of this constrained supply of new watches, where some timepieces now demand higher prices compared to the retail counter. On the Rolex website, for instance, a steel Daytona is listed for $13,150 US. However, on Chrono24, the exact same watch is listed for more than $36,000 US. This example is not specific to the Rolex brand alone. Patek Philippe Nautilus has become so popular on the secondary market that they easily triple in value from their retail price, with pre-owned watches selling for at least $100,000 US. At an auction earlier this month, a limited edition Tiffany Blue Nautilus sold for a record-breaking 6.5 million US dollars. However, a McKinsey report indicates that the market for Rolex pre-owned watches is expected to reach 29 to 32 billion US dollars in sales by 2025. Charles Tien, the founder of Watch Charts, claims that the uptick in interest is even helping other historic brands. He stated, "Collectors are looking for alternatives. As a result, this interest in the upper echelon boosts the watch industry as a whole." The bottom line is that Rolex is following a strategy that was developed under Andre Heiniger's leadership and has served the company well for more than 50 years. There are probably a few things that Rolex could do to improve the situation right now, which would increase the supply of these watches and reduce the secondary market. We believe that they are deciding not to at this point because it's advantageous to their business. Are Rolex timepieces still a good investment? The quick answer is yes. The more complicated response is that it depends on the model, purchase price, watch condition, and current market conditions. Regarding investable commodities, Rolexes typically reign supreme even in an unsteady market. Similar to the gold industry, Rolex watches can also fall. But if you buy wisely, you will rarely lose money on the Rolex watch. Stainless steel Rolex watches, especially affordably priced brand new models, including Rolex sports watches such as the GMT Master 2, Daytona, and other Rolex watches such as the Oyster Perpetual 41 and Sky Dweller, still holds the highest value per dollar spent, assuming you paid the retail price for these models. Even in a down market, many of these popular stainless steel models still sell for at least double their retail price, which we think is incredible. Rolex watches, whether new, used, or vintage, always make the best investments. Even with stock markets dropping, housing markets are now beginning to cool down, and Rolex is dropping from its peak levels. However, even if the rate of supply has been reduced, the value of Rolex watches will always rise over time. Rolex is the safest bet is all we can say. And it's true that Audemars Piguet, Patek Philippe, and Richard Mille are among the other brands of highly investable timepieces. These brands also have excellent resale value, but they have generally seen larger declines from their peak, and their starting price are significantly higher to begin with. You should, at the very least, conduct a comprehensive Google search of this precise reference that you are looking for in order to determine the actual asking prices. This is in addition to doing regular due diligence on the authenticity, condition, and terms of the deal for any Rolex purchase that you are considering. What does the 2022 Rolex price increase mean? Rolex becomes more exclusive as its scarcity rises. Fans of Rolex find this to be even more appealing. As a result, the reseller community can anticipate earning returns on their Rolex investments. At the end of the day, it's the Rolex fans that are pushing the hype of this increasing Rolex prices. And there could be three main reasons for this theory. First, potential for investing. Rolex watches are increasingly being viewed as an investment rather than just pure luxury. As a result, a lot of people are starting to invest in them. They do this so that they can resell the watches when the price goes up, similar to cryptocurrency and the stock market. Second, FOMO. FOMO means fear of missing out. Since Rolex watches are so popular, many people want to buy one because they don't want to be left out. Lastly, status sign. If you don't have a lot of money, it's obvious that you can't buy a $50,000 watch. Without a doubt, Rolex watches are a status symbol. If you see someone with a Rolex on, you can easily assume that they are wealthy. There are a number of additional causes for the Rolex price increase: inflation, the cost of materials, and the state of our current geopolitical situation. Today, where most of us live almost half of our lives on social media, owning a Rolex can surely make us unique and prestige. Being able to flaunt wealth is everyone's #1 reason for owning a Rolex. As we wrap up this video, we hope that you have gained a better understanding of the Rolex industry. We are looking forward to reading your thoughts, comments, and experiences in the comment section below. This is the luxury world, and we thank you for watching.